for successful parenting. 3 things that can minimize childhood wounds that you could be inflicting in your children. Because these 3 things over and over again is what I saw was the reason many adults were walking thinking they were not lovable, were not enough, not worthy, creating the same scenarios over and over again that wasn't serving them, self-sabotage, all of that stuff. In the deepest core was because their parents failed to do these 3 things. Now, are you excited to hear what the 3 things are? All right. Number 1 thing to do is acknowledge their feelings. Yes, you can tell them, you know what? No point in crying over that little thing, but only after you have acknowledged their feelings and taken them through their emotional journey. Then you can get them to a point of, you know what? You're giving away too much power to that one thing. And maybe you shouldn't give it that much power, right? But it's only after you've said, yeah, that is hard, that is rough, that is crappy, and I can see why you're really sad about it. Or, yeah, you know what, I get it. I can see why you're really angry about it. And bonus points if you can share your own childhood stories with your child about a similar situation. Over and over again, I notice my son perks up when he has gone through something and I share with him something similar I experienced in my childhood. And so something as easy as acknowledging their emotions can make such a big difference in your children's life. Now, let me tell you one more thing. When you're acknowledging your child's emotion, what they're also feeling is that they are being seen and they're being heard. Now, if you feel seen and heard, guess what happens? You feel valuable. You feel you matter. You feel your voice matters. And that is powerful, my friend. That is what many of us adults didn't receive as children. And you get to stop that. You get to stop the generational trauma from occurring and give this to your child. Now, number 2, what is number 2? Number 2 is apologize to your child if you have made a mistake. Listen, none of us are perfect. I have been doing the inner work for over a decade now. And let me tell you, time and time again, I make mistakes as a mom. I have days where I do yell at my son. I know some of my clients don't believe it. When I run Abundant Living, they're like, we always say, what would Michelle do? And I'm like, really? Listen, I make mistakes too. And I've been doing this work for over a decade. And I have moments where I am like, come on, what's going on, right? I yell at my son. Now, let me tell you something as well. After I yell, when I go to him and I go, hey, listen, I am really sorry. I'm really sorry I yelled at you. And maybe they did something wrong and they deserved your wrath. But you get to correct them. You don't get to blow up on them, right? So you can say what you did was wrong, but the way I reacted to that was wrong as well. See, making mistakes as a parent is not a bad thing. It's actually, in fact, a great thing because it shows your children that they can make mistakes too. It gives them permission not to feel like they need to be these perfect children. It gives them permission to make mistakes. But when you make a mistake and you're teaching them how to fix it, if it's hurting someone's feelings or if it's a breakdown in your own behavior, when you're teaching them how to fix it, you're also empowering them with the tools to be great adults. Think about it. Many adults, even unto today, have so much difficulty making mistakes. And when they make a mistake, what is the programming? The programming is, I'm a failure. Oh my gosh, I'm not perfect. And that actually came from your childhood because when you made a mistake, you were probably beaten up, yelled at, punished, and you thought to yourself, that little child, that little boy or girl is thinking to himself or herself that, ooh, I'm not allowed to make mistakes because if I make mistakes, that means I'm not lovable, I'm not enough, something is wrong with me. Maybe nobody else makes mistakes and I keep making this mistake. What is wrong with me, right? The inner talk can be dangerous. So it's very important because your kids are in a state where you can easily program them. It's very important you program your child and say to them, hey, listen, it's okay to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are a great thing. But what did we learn from this mistake? How can we prevent this from happening again, right? And you know your child best, and you know how to guide him through that journey. For you to be able to guide him through that journey, you need to be able to practice self-compassion yourself. You need to be able to not carry shame about your mistake and stand in the power of who you are and be, yeah, you know what? I did make that mistake and I'm so sorry. Don't need to carry the shame. When you don't apologize, you're carrying the shame of that mistake, because deep down you know you made a mistake. But the moment you can acknowledge you made a mistake and apologize, it's powerful. And your child sees that and learns from that. Think about all great leaders, right? Now, number 3, what does your child need? 100% of the time in the quantum inner healing journey, and this is on a subconscious level, so you're not walking around going, oh, I wish I got more time with my parents. Some of you are aware of it, but some of you, majority, are not. And in the quantum inner healing journey, when we go to the subconscious, guess what one of the things is where the healing actually happens? That little child getting to spend time with her parents or his parents. Your child is looking for quality time from you. Your child is not looking, now listen to this carefully, your child is not looking for if you're present there or not, but what they are looking is for your presence. So you could be present. You could be sitting right next to your child is playing and you're like, yeah, I'm with my children. But if you're on your cell phone, if your mind is thinking of all the things you need to do, or if you're cleaning your house, now that is not your presence. And I'm talking about quality time being your presence. You having this one-on-one time with them so they truly feel they are valued, they matter. You care about them enough to spend time with them. They must be special. Right? Those are the messages you're giving them. And let me tell you, for kids, you can explicitly say this because kids are programmable. What their programming is an output of the statements you are saying to them. So stay powerful statements. The times when you were yelled at, but it was disempowering statements like, what's wrong with you? Right? What's wrong with you? It's such a common statement. I hear so many people use this statement. What's wrong with you? And what is the messaging the child is getting? Something is wrong with me. Something is off with me. When in reality, if you're like, hey, you are powerful, I know you got this, or I know this is something you know you shouldn't be doing. Here is how I'm going to correct you for it so you can remember. So most of the time when I guide my child, I correct him. I actually try not to attack him either. What I do in correction is not attack, but blame it on his brain. And I say, I need to correct you because this is how your brain is going to learn. Your brain will learn not to do this again. So I do bring that in. So I do explain to my child why I'm doing something I'm doing, even though he hates it. So maybe it's taking away his devices, and I'm like, this is the only way your brain is going to learn, right? So it's not even an attack of him as a person, but teaching him about his brain. And this is how the brain learns for all of us, right? When we get that correction, when there's that negative reinforcement, none of us wants that. We all like positive reinforcement. None of us like to feel the negative. So yeah, those are the 3 things that I learned from my journey. And most importantly, what I learned is none of us were looking for perfect parents. Neither is your child looking for a perfect parent. So as long as you can do these 3, apologize, make their feelings or acknowledge their feelings, make them feel heard and seen, and spend quality time with them, I can promise you, you're going to minimize the childhood wounds that you are inflicting on your child. Because let's face the reality, we're all humans and our children are going to have some or the other childhood wound in them. But you at least can minimize those childhood wounds. That being said, my friend, thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to comment. And if you're new to your journey of inner child healing and inner work, I do have a 21-day free challenge. You can always DM me or message me, and I'll send the challenge your way. If not, you can always book a complimentary call with me if you're a mom who is ready for her journey of healing, who is ready to be the best version of herself, who is ready to let go of her trauma from her past so she doesn't carry it forward to her children. Then message me or book your complimentary call with me. The link is down in the comments, and I will see you in the call. Bye for now.